Hello everybody, welcome into another lesson. So today we are going to talk about equations that have fractional coefficients. Here we have w over 3 plus w over 4 equal to 7/4. Well, this could also be rewritten as 1/3 times w plus 1/4 times w equal to 7/4. So it's the same thing. We just happen to have the w in the numerator. It just makes life easier. How you're going to solve these is kind of like how you would deal with normal fractions. You want to find the least common denominator between 3 and 4. You want to take care of both sides because you have denominators of 3, 4, and 4. Well, least common denominator of 3 and 4 is going to be 12. So if you take that least common denominator of 12, you multiply the left side by that least common denominator, then you multiply the right side by that least common denominator, what you're going to get, let's do the distributive property, 12 times w over 3, well that 12 divided by 3 is 4, so you would get 4w plus you would then get 12 times w over 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. You would get 3w. So you get 4 plus 3w is equal to 7/4 times 12. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3. You would end up getting 7 times 3. So then you have 4w plus 3w, that's 7w, would equal 7 times 3, that would equal 21. Well, what you're going to have then, you want to get w, you got to divide both sides by 7. Divide 7w by 7, you just get w. Divide the 21 by 7, you get 3. So the answer for w that you would get is 3. So if you put that into the original equation, 3/3 plus 3/4, that'd be like, yeah, that would give you 7/4. So w being 3 does check out. If you're ever in doubt, just stick it into the original equation, you'll get your answer. Alright, what's next? We have 3c over 10 plus c over 5 equal to 3/2. Alright, so we got 3c over 10 plus c over 5 equal to 3/2. Well, we need to find the least common denominator of the 10, 5, and 2. I think it's safe to say our least common denominator is 10. So take the left side, multiply that by your least common denominator of 10, and then you got to do it to the right also. You'll multiply that by 10. Alright, so the first term, 10 times 3c over 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1, you just get 3c. Okay, now you have plus, you got 10 times c over 5, 10 divided by 5, that's 2, you would get 2c. So you have 3c plus 2c is equal to 3/2 times 10. Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. You would have 3 times 5 here. Okay. Well, 3c plus 2c, that's 5c, would be equal to 3 times 5. That would be 15. Alright, we want to solve for c. We have 5c equals 15. Divide both sides by 5. Left side, you get c. Right side, you get 3. So the answer to this would be c equals 3. So you would get 9/10 plus 6/10 would give you 15/10, which would give you 3/2. So that c being 3 does in fact check out. Alright, what's next? We have 3a over 5 minus a over 2 equal to 1/20th. Alright, so we have 3a over 5 minus a over 2 equal to 1/20th. Well, we need to find the least common denominator of 5, 2, and 20. I think it's safe to say our least common denominator is going to be 20. So you're going to go ahead, take both sides, multiply that by your least common denominator of 20. So you're going to have 20, I didn't write it right, hold on. 20 times this whole left side, then you would take 20 times the whole right side. So on the left side, you have 20 times 3a over 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So 4 times 3a, that's 12a. Minus, you have 20 times a over 2. Well, 20 divided by 2 is 10, so you'd have minus 10a. So far you have 12a minus 10a is equal to 1/20th times 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. You just get 1. 12a minus 10a, that's 2a. You have 2a equals 1. We need to just solve for a, so divide both sides by 2. Divide the left side by 2, you get a. The right side, you would just get 1/2. So the answer you should get for this would end up being a is equal to 1/2. Alright, let's see. We have 7m over 8 minus 3m over 5 equal to 11 over 2. Alrighty then, so we have denominators of 8, 5, and 2. We need to find the least common denominator of 8, 5, and 2. I think it's safe to say 40 would be your least common denominator of 8, 5, and 2. So you take the left side, multiply that by 40, multiply the entire left side by 40. Then you'll do the same thing on the right, multiply the entire right side by 40. So first we have 40 times 7m over 8. Well, 40 divided by 8, that's 5. You have 5 times 7m, that would be 35m. Minus, you have 40 times 3m over 5. 40 divided by 5 is 8. 8 times 3m, that's 24m. So you have 35m minus 24m is going to be equal to, let's see, 11 halves times 40. You'd end up getting 11 times 20 because 40 divided by 2 is 20. So what you have now, you have 3m minus 24m, that's 11m, would be equal to 11 times 20, right? Notice you can divide both sides by 11. You don't even need to go through multiply 11 times 20. There's a common factor of 11 on both sides. Divide the left side by 11, you get m. Divide the right side by 11, you get 20. So the answer for this is m would actually equal 20. Alright, let's see here. We have x over 5 minus x plus 4 all over 7 equals 0. Alright, so we have x over 5 minus x plus 4 all over 7 equal to 0. Well, we need to find the least common denominator of 5 and 7. The least common denominator would be 35. So we'll take that 35, multiply it by the entire left-hand side, and then you're going to also multiply it on the right-hand side. So the left-hand side, you have 35 times x over 5. Well, 35 divided by 5, that's 7. 7 times x will give you 7x, minus, you have 35 times x plus 4 all over 7. Well, 35 divided by 7 is 5. You would end up getting 5 times the quantity of x plus 4. That would be equal to 0 times 35, which is definitely 0. Now we need to pull the distributive property on the left-hand side. You still have 7x. Negative 5 times x, that'll give you minus 5x. Then negative 5 times positive 4, that'll give you negative 20. Equal to 0. So now what you'll have, 7x minus 5x, that's 2x minus 20 equal to 0. Well, we want to get the x by itself on the left-hand side. We have 2x minus 20. We need to add 20. So we add 20 to the left-hand side. You're just simply going to get 2x. But you have to add 20 to the right-hand side. 0 plus 20 is 20. So now you have 2x equals 20. Now we want to just solve for x. So divide both sides by 2. The left side comes to x. The right side comes to 10. So in the end, the answer you should get would be x equals 10. All right, let's see here. We got x over 6 minus x plus 3 all over 5 equal to 1. Alright, so we got x over 6 minus x plus 3 all over 5 equal to 1. Well, we have three denominators, really. We have 6, 5, and 1. We need to find the least common denominator between 6, 5, and 1. That's definitely going to be 30, right? So we're going to take 30, multiply that by the entire left-hand side, but you also got to do it to the right side. So let's start with 30 times x over 6. Well, 30 divided by 6 is 5. 5 times x, that'll give you 5x. Minus, we got 30 times x plus 3 over 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6, so you'll get minus 6 times the quantity of x plus 3. That's going to be equal to 1 times 30, which is, well, simply 30. Okay. Now you have, let's do the distributive property. You'll still have the 5x. Minus 6 times x would be minus 6x. Negative 6 times positive 3 would be negative 18. All that would be equal to 30. So 5x minus 6x, that's negative x minus 18 equals 30. Well, we want to get that negative x by itself. We have a minus 18, so we need to add 18 to both sides. So what we're going to have to do is add 18 to both sides. You do that, you'll get negative x by itself on the left side. Add 18 to 30, you get 48. Okay, well, we have negative x. We want to solve for just x. Divide both sides by negative 1. Divide the left side by negative 1, you get x. Divide the right side by negative 1, you get negative 48. So the answer you should get for this would be x equals negative 48. See, negative 8 minus, let's see, negative 45 plus 9. Yep, that'd be 1. Yep, so x equals negative 48 checks out. When in doubt, just stick your answer into the original equation and it should check out. The left side should equal the right. You can get some wild answers. You can totally get some wild answers with this. let's see. We have 4y plus 1 all over 3 minus 2y plus 1 all over 5 is equal to 3/5. Right? Okay. So we have three denominators of 3, 5, and 5. We need to find the least common denominator of 3, 5, and 5. I think it's safe to say that's going to be 15. So let's go ahead and multiply the left side, the entire left side, by that denominator of 15, which means we got to do that to the right also. Okay, so let's start with the first term. You have 15 times 4y plus 1 over 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that's going to give you 5 times the quantity of 4y plus 1 minus, you have 15 times 2y plus 1 all over 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so you have minus 3 times 2y plus 1. All that equal to, you have 3/5 times 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3, that'd be 3 times 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the distributive property on the left. 5 times 4y is 20y, plus 5 times 1, well that's 5. Now you have minus 3 times positive 2y, that'd be minus 6y. Then you have negative 3 times positive 1, that'll give you negative 3. That's going to be equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, let's simplify the left side. 20y minus 6y, that's going to be 14y. Then you have plus 5 minus 3, that'd be plus 2, is equal to positive 9. Now you have 14y plus 2 equals 9. Well, we want to get that 14y by itself, don't we? We have plus 2, so we need to subtract 2 from both sides. You subtract 2 from the left side, you indeed just have 14y. But if you subtract 2 from the right, you get 7. Now you have 14y equals 7. We want to just solve for y. Well, we got to divide both sides by 14. You divide the left side by 14, you get y. Divide the right side by 14, you get 7/14, which we know 7/14 is the same as 1/2. So the answer you should get for this would in fact be 1/2. Alright, what's next? Let's see. X plus 2 all over 15 minus x minus 3 all over 5 is equal to 2/3. Alright, so we got x plus 2 all over 15 minus x minus 3 all over 5 equal to 2/3. So we got three denominators here, 15, 5, and 3. We need to find the least common denominator between the three of those. I'm going to say it's 15. So 15 being the least common denominator of those three, you take both sides, multiply it by 15. So let's do that. 15 times the left side, you're also going to have times 15 on the right hand side. So let's start with the first term. 15 times x plus 2 all over 15. 15 divided by 15 is 1. You just have 1 times x plus 2, which is simply x plus 2. Minus, you have 15 times x minus 3 all over 5. 15 divided by 5, that's 3. So you'd have minus 3 times x minus 3. is going to be equal to, right, 2/3 times 15. Well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. You'd have 2 times 5. So let's go ahead and start with the distributive property on the left-hand side. Still have the x plus 2. Now, negative 3 times x, that is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3, that's positive 9. That's going to equal 2 times 5, which is 10. So let's simplify the left-hand side now. X minus 3x, that's negative 2x. You have plus 2 plus 9, well, that'd be plus 11, would be equal to 10. Well, we want to get that negative 2x by itself, do we not? So, in order to get that negative 2x by itself, we have a plus 11. We need to subtract 11 from the left side. If we do that, you do in fact get negative 2x by itself, but what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. 10 minus 11 is negative 1. Well, we want to solve the value for just x, so you got to divide both sides by negative 2. Divide the left side by negative 2, you just get x. And then you divide the right side by negative 2, you're actually going to get positive 1/2. So the answer you should get for this would in fact be positive 1/2. As I said, you can get some wild answers, even fractions and stuff you can get. Alright, let's see. 3u minus u over 5 equals 1 plus 8u all over 10. Okay. Well, we have really 4 denominators here, because 3u has a denominator of 1, so does that 1 on the right hand side, has a denominator of 1. But besides that, you have 5 and 10. We need to find the least common denominator of 5 and 10. I'm going to definitely say 10. So multiply your left side, the entire left side, by that common denominator of 10, and multiply your entire right side by that denominator of 10. So let's do this, since we got 2 terms. That looks like 2 to the 10th power, doesn't it? That don't look right. There. I don't want it to look like it's 2 to the 10th power. Goodness, no. I'd hate to expand that. Alright, so we have 10 times 3u. That's going to be 30u. Minus, we have 10 times u over 5, okay? Well, let's see, 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times u is 2u. So we have 30u minus 2u. Now let's do the right-hand side. Is equal to 1 times 10, that's 10. Plus we have 8u over 10 times 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. You should just get 8u. Alright, no more fractions, which is nice to work with. Let's deal with the left-hand side. 30u minus 2u is in fact 28u. That's going to be equal to, let's use the commutative property to rewrite the 10 and 8u. That'd be equal to 8u plus 10. Well, okay, we have the variable on the left-hand side. We want to get that 10 by itself on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, we need to subtract 8u. If we do that, we do get 10 by itself. But we got to do it to the left side. 28u minus 8u is 20u. So we got 20u. Now we want to just solve for u. So you got to divide both sides by 20. Divide the left side by 20, you get u. Divide the right side by 20, you get 10/20ths. Otherwise, 1/2. If you simplify it, you should end up getting 1/2. And that would be your answer, 1/2. Alright, I got 5 more. Then we're done. Yep. Definitely done, yep. X, okay, let's see. We have x minus 3x over 2 equal to 3x over 4 minus 5 over 6. So we really have 4 denominators. We got a denominator of 1 with that x term. We got a denominator of 2, 4, and 6. Well, what is the least common denominator between 2, 4, and 6? I'm going to say 12. 12 would actually be the least common denominator. So multiply both sides by 12. We'll multiply that left side by 12. We'll also multiply the right side by 12. So start on the left side, 12 times x, well, that's going to be 12x. Minus, okay, you have 12 times 3x over 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6 times 3x, that's 18x. So far you got 12x minus 18x is equal to, let's see, you have 3x over 4 times 12. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3. You'd have 3 times 3x, which is 9x, minus, okay, you got 5, 6 times 12. 12 divided by 6 is 2, so minus 5 times 2 is 10. Alright, so you got 12x minus 18x equals 9x minus 10. Now, do the left side, 12x minus 18x, that's negative 6x, is equal to 9x minus 10. Well, we have a variable on the left-hand side, however, we want to get that negative 10 by itself on the right-hand side, do we not? In order to get that negative 10 by itself on the right-hand side, we got to subtract 9x from the right-hand side. If we do that, we do in fact get negative 10 by itself. But what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So negative 6x minus 9x, that's negative 15x. Now you have negative 15x equals negative 10. Well, we want to solve for just x. We have to divide both sides by negative 15. Divide the left side by negative 15, you do in fact get x. You do the right side, the negatives will cancel out, you'll end up getting 10 over 15, or the simplified fraction would be 2/3. So the answer you should get for this one is going to end up being 2/3. Alright, 4 more. 0 equals 3m minus 3m minus 7 all over 8. This one actually won't be too bad. So 0 equals 3m minus 7 all over 8. Between all these denominators, I think it's plain to see 8 is going to be your least common denominator. So multiply both sides by that 8, which would be your least common denominator. Left side, 8 times 0, well that's 0. Now on the right hand side, 8 times 3m, that's 24m. Minus, we have 3m minus 7 over 8 times 8. Well, 8 divided by 8 is 1. You'll just have minus that 3m minus 7. So we still have 0 on the left-hand side is equal to 24m minus 3m, well that's what it is, minus 3m, minus 7 is actually plus 7. Okay, well, simplify the right hand side. You still have 0. 24m minus 3m is 21m plus 7. Well, I think it's safe to say we want to get that 7 by itself on the right hand side, do we not? So what you have to do is subtract 21m from the right hand side. If you do that, you do in fact get 7 by itself. But what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. So 0 minus 21m, that's going to be negative 21m. Now you have negative 21m equals 7. You got to divide both sides by negative 21. Divide the left side by negative 21, you get m. That's going to be equal to negative 7 over 21, or simply negative 1/3. So the answer you should get for this would actually be negative 1/3. Alright, 3 more. 0 equals 2x plus 2x minus 8 all over 7. Okay, so 0 equals 2x plus 2x minus 8 all over 7. I think it's safe to say your least common denominator is going to be 7. So multiply both sides by 7. The entire side by 7. So on the left side, 7 times 0, that just gives you 0. The right side, 7 times 2x, that gives you 14x. Alright, now you have 2x minus 8 over 7 times 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so you have 14x plus 2x minus 8. Alright, well, we still have 0 on the left-hand side. That's going to be equal to 14x plus 2x. That's 16x minus 8. Alright, well, I think it's safe to say we want to get that negative 8 by itself on the right-hand side, do we not? In order to do that, we got to subtract 16x from the right side. So if we do that, we get negative 8 by itself. But you also got to do it to the left. So 0 minus 16x, that is negative 16x. That'd be equal to negative 8. You divide both sides by negative 16. The left side just goes to positive x. The right side, you would have positive 8 over 16, or just simply 1/2. So the answer you should get for this one would be 1/2. And 2 more. Alright, let's see. We have n plus 3 all over 3 minus n all over 4, which is equal to n minus 2 all over 5. Okay, so we have 3 denominators here. We have 3, 4, and 5. What would be your least common denominator between 3, 4, and 5? It's going to be 60. 60 would be your least common denominator. So you multiply both sides by 60. So let's go ahead and do that. First term, you have 60 times n plus 3 all over 3. Well, 60 divided by 3 is 20, so you'll have 20 times the quantity of n plus 3. Now minus, let's see, you have 60 times n over 4. 60 divided by 4 is 15, so that'd be minus 15n is going to equal we have n minus 2 over 5 times 60. Well, 60 divided by 5 is 12. You'll have 12 times the quantity of n minus 2. So all of a sudden, there are no fractions now. We just got a bunch of distributive work to do. So 20 times n is 20n, plus 20 times 3, that is 60, minus 15n is going to equal 12 times n. Well, that's going to be 12n. Minus 12 times 2, that'd be minus 24. So let's go ahead and simplify the left-hand side. 20n minus 15n, that's just going to be 5n plus 60 equals 12n minus 24. Well, we want to get that 5n by itself on the left-hand side, do we not? We have a plus 60, so we need to do minus 60. If you do that, you subtract 60, you will get 5n by itself. That'll be equal to 12n. Okay, you still have the 12n. You have negative 24 minus 60. That would give you negative 84. So you have 5n is equal to 12n minus 84. Okay. Well, on the right side, we want to get that negative 84 by itself, right? So we got to subtract 12n from the right-hand side. If we do that, you do get negative 84 on the right. 5n minus 12n is negative 7n. So now we have negative 7n equals negative 84. In order to solve for n, we got to divide both sides by negative 7. Divide the left side by negative 7, you get n. Now you divide that negative 84 by negative 87, you get positive 12. So the answer you should get for this would be n equals 12. Alright, one more, then we're done. Let's see. X plus 4 all over 3 minus x all over 7 is equal to x plus 7 over 5. Alright, so we need to find the least common denominator of 3, 7, and 5. Unfortunately, there is no pretty denominator. The least common denominator of 3, 7, and 5 is if you multiply these three together. 3 times 7 is 21, times 5 is 105. So you're going to multiply both sides by your least common denominator of 105. Alright, so now let's proceed here. We have 105 times x plus 4 over 3. So we have, yes, let's see, 105 times x plus 4 over 3. What's 105 divided by 3? That's going to be 35. So you'll have 35 times the quantity of x plus 4 minus, okay, 105 divided by 7 is going to be 15. So you'll have minus 15x. That's going to equal x plus 7 times over 5 times 105. Well, 105 divided by 5 is 21. So you'll have 21 times the quantity of x plus 7. Okay. Now, let's do the distributive property here on the left. 35 times x is, well, 35x. Plus 35 times 4, that's going to be 140. then you have minus 15x is equal to 21 times x would be 21x, plus 21 times 7, that'd be 147. Okay, so we got the left side being 35x plus 140 minus 15x equals 21x plus 147. Let's simplify the left side. 35x minus 15x is in fact 20x. You'll have 20x plus 140 is equal to 21x plus 147. Alright, well, we have 20x plus 140 on the left-hand side. We just want to get that 20x by itself, right? In order to do that, we have to subtract 140 from the left-hand side. So if you do that, you will get 20x on the left-hand side. That'll be equal to still 21x. Now you have plus 147 minus 140, well, that would just be 7. So now you have 20x equals 21x plus 7. Goal is now, let's get that 7 by itself on the right hand side, so we got to subtract 21x from the right hand side. If you do that, you'll get the 7 by itself. 20x minus 21x, well, that's negative x. So now you have negative x equals 7. We need to solve for positive x. So you got to divide both sides by negative 1. Divide the left side by negative 1, you get x. Divide the right side by negative 1, you'll get negative 7. So the answer you should get for this would be x equals negative 7. So once you identify your least common denominator with these problems, just multiply both sides by your least common denominator and you get rid of the fractions. It's really that simple. However, next lesson we are going to go into fractional equations, which are a little bit different. It's a little bit different because we'll have variables in the denominator also. So I hope everybody has a good day. Take care.